At this hour, more than 600 homes have been destroyed. These photos showing the before and the grim after of one of those houses. Jerry Case returned to his childhood home, finding what's left of his mother's wedding ring and little else.
So a lot of memories.
Yeah, all the pictures, everything. It's gone.
More than 3,000 firefighters are on the front lines, even as some have lost everything themselves.
So that was a firefighter's house right there.
Yeah, a lot of firefighters lost their houses here.
One of those firefighters is Jason Campbell. His wife and their children escaped their home in the middle of the night, just moments before it burned down.
When we left, the electricity had already gone out, and so then it's just so dark. There's so much smoke, all you could just see was red, and it was hot wind with ash and leaves, and it just looked like it was right there.
Across the West, firefighters are up against 59 wildfires in 11 states, including the one that scorched more than 50,000 acres near Yosemite National Park. 2 firefighters were killed battling that blaze, including Captain Brian Hughes, who was struck by a falling tree while removing brush. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Happening today, people fed up with fracking near their homes want their voices heard. A big protest is planned at this morning's Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission hearing. Protesters are concerned about public health and safety. They say drilling permits have spiked this year, many less than 1,000 feet from schools. Today, the Rocky Flats Stewardship Council is meeting on the future of the wildlife preserve as public debate on its safety continues to threaten its future. Right now, a district court judge is looking over arguments from opponents who say the former nuclear site is too dangerous for visitors. However, a federal inspection found no reason for the area to be closed off to the public, and the state still plans to open Rocky Flats to the public this September.
Today, doctors at Denver Health Medical Center will reassess a patient once suspected to have Ebola. Health officials say the man was brought into the ER after a mission trip he took to the Congo. Out of an abundance of caution, the patient was placed in isolation in the biocontainment unit there. A preliminary round of tests came back negative for the Ebola deadly disease, but doctors are still closely keeping an eye on him. Denver Health is one of 10 centers in the nation, by the way, that's equipped to handle Ebola. But again, it's believed the man does not have Ebola. Happening today, the man accused of leading Denver police on a chase while driving a tractor in the middle of downtown is scheduled to make his second court appearance. Thomas Bush is facing 23 charges, including 1 count of vehicular assault, 3 counts of aggravated motor vehicle theft. Aside from stealing the tractor from Denver Water, Bush is also accused of stealing 3 other vehicles and injuring a man in a crash.
Right now, Denver police are looking for 2 men accused of shooting and killing a man in a robbery gone wrong. They say Blaine Russa was gunned down in his home in a southeast Denver apartment complex on Saturday. Police are offering a reward for any information leading to an arrest. Happening today, family and friends will gather to remember the life of a woman tragically killed in last week's flooding. Rachel Haber was trapped in an Inglewood basement while cat-sitting for a friend when that storm passed through Tuesday. A celebration of life will be held at 1 p.m. at the Horan and McConaty Heart Light Center. Her friends are also planning a fundraiser next Sunday to help pay for funeral expenses. That'll take place at the 20 Brew Tap House in Westminster. For more details, we have those right now on thedenverchannel.com.
As our Colorado grows, so does the cost of living here. Now, Denver city officials are working on some new solutions to help people afford the area. Today, City Council will hold a 1-hour public hearing on one such bill. It seeks to prohibit the sale or rental of housing based on a buyer's source of income. Now, if this passes, it will make landlords accept non-traditional payments like housing vouchers, Social Security or disability checks, even child support. That hearing begins today at 5:30 in the evening. Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development will be in Aurora today to talk about housing issues there. Ben Carson will be in town to tour the village at Westerly Creek, one of the new Opportunity Zone designations in that city. Opportunity Zones were established under the Tax Cuts and Job Act. There are low-income areas which are eligible for tax breaks to incentivize businesses and people to invest in these distressed communities. Carson's visit is scheduled to start at about 1:30 or 1:15 this afternoon. So we want to hear from you. What does your Colorado look like? How is growth impacting you? You can email us your thoughts at rco@thedenverchannel.com.
Today starts day 3 of the training camp for the Broncos. Denver 7 Sports Director Lionel Bienvenu gives us a breakdown of how the first couple of days have gone.
Good morning, everybody. That includes you, Broncos country. We are 2 days into training camp. Looks like we got a Super Bowl champion out there, baby. Actually, it looks like that in every NFL camp right now. The Broncos won't put on the pads until Tuesday, so we're still watching touch football. But at least it's football, and at least it's good stuff. Yesterday at Dove Valley, Case Keenum and the offense put on a show. Great connections with Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. And we all know that Case and the quarterback on an NFL team is the most important player on the team. The biggest difference between 5-11 last year and a potential return to the playoffs this year. Emmanuel Sanders told us quarterback is not the problem.
Yeah, we got a quarterback. We got a quarterback. That's one question that we can check off. We got a quarterback, and it's all about putting that work in. And we got a guy that's the leader of this football team and that wants to be the leader of this team. He's a veteran quarterback, and he's out there making I'm not gonna say all the right reads, but he's making the right reads for sure.
He has an arm. He has a mind that thinks like a champion, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And our offense is going to be very special, and we're just going to continue to take one day at a time and continue to work hard.
And we love to bring you the best video of camp every day, and that was it. Garrett Bowles and his son Kingston, the little toddler. We first saw Kingston when Garrett got drafted. He stole the show there on ESPN and NFL Network. He did the same yesterday for us at Dove Valley. Okay, check the DenverChannel.com. Broncos Insider Troy Wright has exclusive stories with Derek Wolfe and Bradley Roby. They're on there right now. Read all about it. And, of course, follow us all day on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'll have all the pictures and videos from day 3 at Broncos camp later this morning. And we'll see you right here on Denver 7 later tonight. Until then, have a great day.
Broncos camp. We're getting there.
We are.
I know, for the season. If you have to make a trip to the emergency room, you know how anxious you can be.
But one man is working to help provide calm and comfort to patients and hospital staff.
Welcome back. It's 4:44. Most of us want to avoid a trip to the hospital, but this week's 7 Everyday Hero goes there a couple of times a week. This outstanding volunteer is on a mission to help others in a crisis.
Hello, how are you today?
If you've got to make a trip to the emergency room, it's nice to find a friendly face.
It's nice to feel that you're doing something for somebody who can't help themselves at the moment because they're in an emergency mode.
Tony Janezic volunteers in the emergency department at St. Anthony North Health Campus in Westminster.
Well, it's pretty busy. I don't get a lot of lulls. It's a very active day. Good morning. How are you this morning?
And throughout the day, Tony is right there, comforting patients and staff.
Good morning.
His approach, his touch, his demeanor, they feel safe. They feel like they're going to be taken care of.
We'll get a blanket for you. Hang on a second.
Tony is very passionate. He is very passionate about people.
So much so, he checks on patients even after they've left the ED.
Here you go.
He checks on them. He makes sure, I just want you to see a familiar face. Know that we do care, that we love you, and he just checks on everybody.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
It's that compassion for others that makes Tony Janezic a perfect example of a 7 Everyday Hero.
I love the people around me. The staff is they're my family. I mean, they love me and I love them a lot.
We're doing a group photo so we can surprise Tony for all his hard work here, all his years and years of service. Check this out.
Oh my
Denver 7 and American Financing want to honor you as a 7 Everyday Hero.
Oh my
That's why we got everybody together. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice, man. If you'd like to nominate a hero in your life, just go to thedenverchannel.com, click on Community. You'll see all our community efforts, including 7 Everyday Hero.
Time now is 4:46, taking a live look outside. 62 degrees cooler out there than what we've seen. I swear
nice.
I can feel fall in the air. I felt it the last few days.
No, it's just a cold front rolling through.
No.
You're just sleepy.
You know, by
That might be the
Wednesday,
case.
let's talk by Wednesday when it's 90 degrees.
Smells like snow.
I feel winter is here.
Stop.
No, we've got plenty of time to get into the 90s. This week, later on, it's going to get pretty toasty. Today, though, it is calmer. It's cooler. We're about 12 degrees below normal this afternoon. It is going to get hot again by Wednesday, and it's going to stay pretty toasty through the coming weekend. So, no, Molly, stop talking fall and winter. We've got 62 right now in Denver. Winds southeast at about 3 to 5 miles per hour. A calmer morning, you're going to find some areas of patchy fog and just a little lingering cloud cover. 56 right now in Fort Collins, 56 in Greeley, and 60 in Denver. We've got some low 40s near Leadville, but close to 70 out west in Grand Junction. Futurecast showing skies clearing up across the plains where we've got a little lingering cloud cover. So by 9 o'clock, we'll be in the mid-60s. Still pretty cool through the early morning with a decent warm up by midday. By about 12 o'clock, we're at 73. Very few storms expected today. It's going to be a mostly sunny day for us and quite a bit calmer statewide for the next couple of days. By about 5 o'clock, we're in the upper 70s. Denver looking at a high of 77. It's a pretty perfect temperature here in town. Then overnight, it's going to get cooler. Early tomorrow, we're likely going to see some low to mid 50s early Tuesday morning at about 5 o'clock. So quite a bit cooler to start tomorrow. And then things warm back up. We should be in the low to mid 80s by tomorrow afternoon. And you'll notice again, mostly sunny skies. So some calmer conditions next couple of days. Pretty hot on the western slope tomorrow afternoon. We should be in the mid to upper 90s. So no need for a first alert action day today or tomorrow. Tomorrow it's quite a bit warmer. A good, it looks like 5 to 7 degrees with those mid 80s. Then on Wednesday, it gets hot again. We're going to be at about 90 degrees Wednesday with some low to mid 90s from midweek through, it looks like, the coming weekend. A few thunderstorms possible by Friday, but you'll notice we've now got a 4-day string, Jace, of some calmer weather. Severe storms this weekend. We'll talk more about that, show you some of the damage coming up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we had a lot of roads that were closed up in the northeast part of the state around Brush and Sterling and out that way, and those have all reopened, which is good news, even the side roads out that way, but it's still going to be pretty muddy in a lot of those county roads. You can see down through the Denver Tech Center here in Metro Denver. It looks okay. All the overnight construction here has been picked up, but take a look out to the west side of town. They're still taking some time picking up all the cones here on the east and westbound side of I-70, so it's still going to be a few extra minutes before all those cones are up and out of there. The rest of the drive doesn't look too bad. We do have that police activity here closing down Mountain View from basically Havana over to about Jamaica or so. So a few blocks in there. You can get around it easily by going through the neighborhood roads, and that drive up to the north side, 270, I-76, I-25, they're all wide open.
Jason? 4:49 now. Americans have a total of more than $1.5 trillion of student loan debt. If you're looking for ways to pay back your loans, beware of companies that contact you to try to help you out. September Adams got a call from a company telling her that they could help her consolidate her loans. But she was charged $1,300, and all she got was help to enroll in a federal program she could have done herself on a government website in about 10 minutes.
I was so excited at the time, thinking that, we were going to consolidate everything and everything was going to be one payment, but it turned out to be not what I thought it was.
So now September has to pay that $1,300 in addition to her loans. Even worse, it's at a 20% interest rate. So before you sign up for any loan help, be sure to read the fine print and know exactly what you're getting into.
Now to a Contact 7 consumer alert. You've likely used a third-party company to book a flight or hotel, but the Better Business Bureau says you need to read the fine print because that company's rules may be different than the airline or hotel itself.
Travelocity will have different terms and conditions on how you can deal with canceling or moving that flight than going direct to the airline. So that's where the fine print is really critical, because you can't just trust, well, it's a Southwest flight, say, so everything I've always done on Southwest applies. It may not be the case if you're not booking direct.
If you book with a third-party company, the Better Business Bureau says you should call the airline directly to make sure you have a seat, or call the hotel directly to make sure you have a room booked.
Well, your Google Assistant apparently has just become more handy.
The device's newest feature that means it'll help you even more when you're not home.